Hello and welcome to the Empty Glass Podcast.
This is Matt, and that is Tired Stefan. How's it going, everybody?
I'm not tired, bitch.
All right, so we were talking about this right before we started doing the podcast, which is right now. Welcome. And so to put things, where I'm just like, we're just gonna have this conversation here on the podcast. There's no point in us talking like we're actual friends if like we don't have people listening, you know?
Right.
So last night on a work night for both of us, we both stayed up till what time did I leave? Like 12, was it 12 or like 1?
It was like midnight.
Yeah, it was midnight. I was over at your place at like midnight. You had a little get together and everything like that. And by the end of it, both your girlfriend Rose and I were said like, man, you sound like you're done because you look tired. First of all, you looked like you're about to fall asleep. And then you're like, yeah, man, it's just totally like that. Like,
I was just trying to be fucking quiet because my next door neighbor she's crazy. And like, she
No.
literally had the cops like just randomly over. She has the cops over randomly all the fucking time. She's crazy.
I know, but I'm just saying, and I know the difference between your voice is quiet and you just looked worn out, honestly. Like looking at you, you just looked like you were about to fall asleep at any moment.
Rose and I stayed up for like another hour after you left. We just talked about it.
So did I, and I was tired as fuck when I did it. I'm just saying.
I was tired, but I wasn't for sure. I was for sure like not falling asleep. I was still present for everything.
No, I know. And I was like, it would be smart for me to leave at this point because getting 4 hours of sleep was not an alluring thing for me. And then having to stick through work. But then right before we started the podcast, which you already like, you immediately responded and you sound more awake, but you're like, hey man, you ready to start the podcast? Like just kind of low energy. So I'm like, you tired? And you're just like, why are you always saying I'm always tired?
It's just always saying I'm tired. That sounds like it's just the go-to, man. It's okay.
It's like, I mean, I do get it. It's like someone always asking like, if you look like you're tired, it's just basically someone like, hey man, you okay? You look really sick.
It's like, when am I not tired? Okay, I'm a fucking adult. When am I not tired? I'm tired
Yeah,
99% of the time, baby. That's how I live. We fucking synced up right there. It's funny.
I said the same thing last night. I was like, the best thing about being an adult is that you can stay up as late as you want and get very minimal sleep because no matter what you do, you're always going to be fucking tired and you're going to need a cup of coffee. So why not get 4 hours of sleep today? Because it's the same as getting 8 hours of sleep another day.
So yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, dude.
So let's talk about ads showing up on free-to-play games for PlayStation. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, so I guess this is a way for PlayStation and Xbox to make more money off releasing free games because they don't make enough money as it is.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite, the poor little company, barely makes any kind of money, really.
Poor little company.
Poor little man doesn't make shit. But it's just, yeah, it's kind of silly, honestly. If it was a situation where because the thing with a lot of free-to-play games, and my biggest free-to-play game is Warframe for myself. The thing is with all those games, you pay for tier systems, you pay for cosmetics, like you pay for certain weapons. Like there is a large market around those kind of games that make their money back in those ways. The game just has to be interesting and have a good fan base. So if they were doing advertisements, you would think that would chill out, but more than likely the marketplace as it currently exists is still going to exist that way. They're just going to add on ads above that,
right?
Which is annoying. And depending on, listen, I would prefer no ads to ever be added on to any kind of video game like that. But at the end of the day, these giant companies are going to make whatever decisions they want to. So fucking shit.
What?
Frosty Robbie's in the fucking mix. So he says.
Oh, okay. Frosty's here. Hey guys, Frosty's here. Frosty Robbie in the chat.
Yeah, let's all pay attention to Frosty. Frosty. In fact, leave our stream and go to Frosty Robbie's stream.
Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't blame anybody at this point. But no, it just sounds weird. Like it sounds weird to think that if let's say you boot up Halo Infinite, because is that going to be part of the list too? Because that's a free-to-play game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they were suspecting.
Are you going to get like Paramount Plus ads now for Mr. Cheeks, the TV show?
Oh my God. Just imagine like load times or like commercials. Oh, I would fucking hate that actually.
That's so crazy.
Legitimately,
it's probably what they're gonna do. I mean, that seems like it's the easiest place to sneak them in. Fuck, I think you might be onto something. Oh yeah, Frosty in the stream or Frosty in the chat was like, "I am the stream."
Yeah, and he wants us to huge special shout out to. No, I'm not going to plug him.
Yeah, he has a Instagram page and it's at RL Photo Folder.
Bruh, I'd stop playing VG.
He's got some really nice pictures up on there, guys. Check it out.
Yeah, at RL Photo Folder.
Yeah, on Instagram.
There you go.
On Instagram.
Look at us. Here we are tossing shit about ads, and we're doing an ad for a friend.
But Robbie did say that he would stop playing, honestly, if it's free to play and has lots of ads. Well, like, what if it's just one ad, Robbie? And what if the ad is like during
video games? Okay, got
screen?
If
it's during the loading screen, I just feel like it would be like less obvious.
Here's the thing: is that I already pay subscription for YouTube. And not watching ads because I fucking hate ads. They're obnoxious. They're really annoying. Like ads are specifically made to grab your attention. You know, there's a whole Black Mirror episode on ads, which is excellent, starring the guy from Get Out. Well, side note, best Black Mirror episode. Just been out
that one's called A Million Merits or something.
Something like that. Yeah, but it's just
15 million merits.
If ads are going to be obnoxious in video games and they're going to be persistent and just all over the place, that'd be really annoying. Now, if I'm playing, I've been thinking of like the Spider-Man 2 game back in the day on PS2. Jokingly, Activision had their own advertisements around New York City and stuff like that. It's like, oh, haha. But in that situation, like, it's not a big deal to have that kind of advertisement because, that is accurate to New York City, or that's accurate to any city, really. Cities are going to have billboards and stuff like that. So if they can work it in, if they could work it in with the immersion, I guess, like, that's acceptable. But like I said, at the end of the day, I prefer just no advertisements at all.
Yeah. Robbie said that if it's like an unskippable ad, it's a Hulu commercial, and there's nothing you can do about it, it makes you stop playing, then he's gonna
garbage.
Stop. He's not gonna, fuck that.
Yeah, I would go straight in the garbage of that shit.
But if there's like ads in the game itself, like you were saying, like on a billboard or whatever, it's like, whatever, no big deal. But it's gonna be weird for advertisers because, like, what if they want to put their billboard in fucking GTA? Like, I don't know. It's either like the best marketing move ever or the worst. I don't know what that does for like brand image or something. Robbie likes our lava lamp background on our Twitch stream. Thanks, man. I super appreciate it. Yeah, we also have a live Twitch stream. So on if you go to the Empty Glass podcast,
it's not the 30-minute.
It's okay. I just thought it was a good way to sneak it in.
No.
Chill.
No one wants to watch Empty Glass. I don't want to watch it. I'm kidding.
Well, speaking of video games, Chad Findlay, who made the like Spider-Man game, one of the first games that you and I ever connected over. The first one for the PlayStation 1 and the N64. It's just called Spider-Man. He's interested in remaking that game.
That's nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just mostly like he still sees it as one of his like best games. He loves that game. So he was like, if he ever had time or if like they ever got a way to license like a remake of it, he would totally be in for it. I'm like, damn, hell yeah.
That's cool and all, but honestly, like, there's enough Spider-Man games as there is.
Yeah, I know. The new ones are really good.
Yeah, and I don't know. That is cool that he has such a high passion for it and stuff like that. But that's not an exciting thing for me, honestly. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like if a fan project was made from it, or if it's just like the same game with just better textures and like slightly better quality, I would be all for that. I would be more interested in them releasing it like HD for the Switch or something,
Yo, Rob, I'm already well aware that you love Morty more than me. I have accepted this fact. It's okay. Speaking of video games, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, just kidding, Horizon 2 Forbidden West, is a game that thoroughly frustrates me, and I don't know if I can keep playing it.
Are you done with it or what?
I think I may be done with it. It doesn't help that I also have a lot of other games and stuff. Okay, Rob had something interesting. I'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, Horizon, has the most fucking talking in any video game I have ever played. There's just so much talking constantly going on from every character, from every person. Even Aloy, the main character, is just constantly talking to herself. I've never played a game where I'm just like, shut the fuck up. I'm like there's never been a game where I'm playing it. I'm like, everyone needs to stop talking because this is just going on too long. It is just exposition dump after exposition dump after exposition dump. And it's just like, shut up and let me play the game. And even when I do get to play the game, like the combat, it's very weird to put it, but I feel like Aloy is still exactly the same from the first game. Like her mobility, the way she explores the world and stuff like that, which the first Horizon is a very big map and everything like that. But now the new game is even more bloated. It's even bigger area, and like Aloy's just not satisfying to like really traverse this big open areas. And then this hasn't been doing it for me, honestly.
Yeah.
And then another interesting thing is it's a very special situation because in the first game you had a select amount of monsters that you would slowly be introduced to. Like you go to a different area, you'd start going against like crocodile robots, or like you go against the T-Rex. It was slowly introduced, but now there's so many different variety of enemies, and it's kind of done in a bad way because in the first game, most of the game is you would have to know how to break apart these enemies. Like you can scan them and be like, okay, these parts of the legs break off to expose this core. If you hit the core with this kind of element, it could explode. Like you really dissect and learn a lot about your enemies. But now there's so many enemies. There's like multiple different types of one singular enemy that you're just constantly trying to figure out what the fuck to do and what to use. And I think it just got a little overzealous with it expanded, but just not. But it was almost to a detriment, in my opinion.
Yeah, that sucks. I hate it when you're playing a game and like the characters are constantly reminding you what you need to do, or like
it's not even that. Like it's not even they're reminding you. Well, Aloy is basically always doing that. She's like, oh, I should jump up on this ledge. It's like, thank you, Aloy. But it's just other characters are constantly like, well, yes, I am a. There's a hilarious joke in Borderlands Tiny Tina's Adventure, or that one, where you have a side mission where you go up to a door and the character says, yes, I'm an incredibly interesting character with my own name and interesting backstory. Like, I love that line. And that is so relevant to Horizon because it's just like every character is that. They have this long backstory. They have this long dialogue of information. And it's just like, dude, I don't care. You're literally a random ass NPC. You have very good facial tracking. You have pretty decent voice acting. But at the end of the day, I could only care about so many people's like bullshit information in this game. It's just, yeah.
I haven't played like an open world game in a while since I guess I kind of picked up Arkham City recently. Not Arkham City, Arkham Knight. It's just, it gets confusing. But you know, I do appreciate that there isn't a whole lot of that in Arkham Knight. Like I'm still able to run around and stuff, even though I should be doing missions because I'm like so early in the game. It's still not like Batman, you need to go to the blah, 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 blah. I mean, they probably do pull that off eventually. Like every game does do that, but I haven't noticed it so far.
There's mission variety, and there's only like a certain amount of side missions and missions. Like for Horizon, it just seems to go on forever. And Rob made a very good point that I also agree with. So the whole keeping track of enemies' weaknesses and shit like that is a lot harder because for some reason I feel like I didn't have this problem in the first game, but in the second game wastes more. It is so hard to scan enemies. Like it's so hard to like get the reticle over them because they literally jump all over the place. And this was like the first game in a while that I had to bring from hard to normal because hard was just tedious. It wasn't challenging. It was just incredibly tedious and annoying. And I brought down normal and then I tried playing a little bit more. I'm like, I can't do it. Have been enjoying Ghostwire Tokyo. And I also got Lego Star Wars and started playing that a bit. So those games are fun. And
you're still taking a break from Elden Ring, right?
Still taking a break from Elden Ring. Yep. And then right before I got into this topic of Horizon, Rob was saying that a Doctor Strange game would be pretty interesting. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of think the main Magic game to come out that looks very interesting is that Forsaken, not the Destiny game, the PlayStation game. I don't know. I've talked about it before. I've told you to look up the gameplay, so you know that's on you, bud.
Well, you don't remember the name of the game, so how could I look up the gameplay if you don't remember the name of the game?
Because I told you about it and I confirmed it on the stream once, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out.
Forsaken.
Wait, hold on. Nope, nice. Not Forsaken.
Nice. Well, good shit. Anyway, speaking about video games too, and specifically like PlayStation 3, apparently like it's really, really hard for Sony to do PS3 emulation. So we're probably never going to see like downloadable PS3 games, even if you do the PlayStation Plus, whatever they call it now, PlayStation Ultimate Plus new one version 2022. If you pay for that monthly service, the chances are any PS3 game that comes out for it is just going to stream.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Yeah, it was because of like a particular CPU that the PS3 ran off of called the Cell, and apparently it had a 7 floating point coprocessor, and it was like extremely complex. So because of that, they can't replicate that in a software environment, like how Microsoft found out how to replicate an Xbox 360. I almost said Nintendo 64, but an Xbox 360 in a software environment, it looks like it's unlikely to happen for a PS3 game, which sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. And Frosty Robert, Frostus the Roboth, said that Infamous 2 was a fun ass game. Dude, Infamous 2 was the fucking shit. I love that game. I played it so many times. It was the best one in the series. And that does suck that people won't get to experience that game because it hasn't been ported. Or wait, no, it did get a port to PS4, I think.
Did it though? I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty sure it had a special edition that came out with 1 and 2 on it.
Not that I am aware of, but you might be right.
But it was a fantastic fucking game, and it would suck if people don't get to play it because PS3 games can't run properly. That also means Metal Gear Solid 4, which I don't think that has ever gotten any kind of like remaster or anything like that, and it probably won't unless Konami needs. Unless Konami
changing
needs
their name.
money.
Actually, did you hear about that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know to what, but they've put in a file, a thing to like change their name. I'm like, that's not going to help you guys out very much.
Oh shit! It doesn't look like there is a. It doesn't look like there is a remaster to Infamous on the PS4.
That's what I thought. Yeah, the only way to do it would be to get a PlayStation Now subscription or to go buy a PS3.
Nah, bitch, I got a PS3. There's the streaming for PS Now fucking sucks. I tried to play God of War Ascension on PS Now on my PS4, and it was so laggy and frustrating that I literally just downloaded the game on my PS3 and played it there instead.
There you go.
Yeah.
Robbie said that Infamous Second Son is also a great game. That is a fun game.
Not as good as 2.
I've played a little bit of that Neon one recently too. Whatever that one was called, First Light.
Yeah, well, I platinumed Second Son, so it was very good up until you had to play it again to get all the achievements, or not have to play again. I wanted to play it again because I always want to do the light and dark side in those games. Frustrating you can't skip cutscenes in Second Son, but other than that,
whatever.
Pretty solid.
Also, apparently, Rocket League is getting a battle royale mode.
That's fine.
Yeah, I guess it's just going to be like you compete until you lose, and if you can beat 100 people, if you can score 100 shots, you win. I guess I don't know.
I don't know if it's by the same people, but there's another game very much like Rocket League, but instead of soccer, it's golf. So you are all like, you have like a team, whatever, and you're all working towards hitting a ball down a course, and then there's like little portals you can hit the ball through that will like launch it off and stuff like that.
Was it the one we were playing? Golf with friends?
This isn't out yet. No, motherfucker. I said it's like Rocket League. Like you have a car.
Okay, I didn't know you had a car.
I said it's like Rocket League. It's just golf.
Okay.
But yeah, it hasn't come out yet, but it looks pretty interesting.
I mean, you could be in like an airplane and it's like Rocket League. You could be in like a boat and it's like Rocket League.
But, right. But the game we played was you were just a golf ball and you hit the thing forward. I'm just saying, like, it's a vehicle that you drive and you're hitting a thing that usually you would just toss or like shoot a different way.
In other news, do you want to hear about?
I'm always hostile, baby.
I know you are. Do you want to hear about the what happened in Halo so far?
Oh yeah, but before that, I do want to say, like, last night when we were hanging out, you're like, "Do you want to hear about Halo?" I'm like, "Not really. You can just tell me during the podcast." But that's the thing is, like, I am curious to hear it. Sure, I'm just saying, and I was like, I probably wouldn't want to hear it twice, but I am very curious to see what you would be, what your thoughts are. I saw that. I am hostile.
Okay, so I think Halo is just continually downward spiraling. Now, the new episode that came out supposedly has a lot of action, and I did get a glimpse of one of the action scenes on YouTube. It looked pretty cool, but TLDR, in the last episode, Master Chief, I told you about how he took like this emotional inhibitor out of his butt, right? And like, okay, he like surgically removed it. It's above his butt, but like they show him like ass out, cheeks out for a long time. And when he takes out this emotional inhibitor, he starts remembering more of his past, right? Because this Halo is more about Master Chief and his past. Also, like, a common running joke about the show is that like Master Chief is afraid to put on his helmet, which is very true. It seems every opportunity he has to put on his helmet, or even if he does put it on, he only wears it for like a brief second. But I digress.
That's annoying.
So this is like episode 3. He figured out where this like Forerunner artifact is, right? Because he's able to activate this Forerunner artifact. You watched the first episode, so you saw him touch it and like glow. So they're like basically like, all right, look, this is where we're gonna take the show. Now we're gonna go into like Master Chief's backstory and talk about like all this crap that's totally irrelevant to anything. And all of episode 4, I like barely paid attention to it. Okay, so I'm not gonna give a great representation of what happened, but TLDR, Master Chief goes digging in his backyard and finds the artifact. Like that's what happens in the episode. It's that week. They go to his planet, and then they keep cutting back to Quan on Madrigal and like all the fucking political shit that nobody cares about. And then it keeps going back to Master Chief literally digging with a shovel and in his suit with his helmet off. And I'm like, what am I watching? I'm done, like I might watch the next episode to see what this action is all about, but I mean, I can't expect them to keep it up. Like they're going to have this one action-packed episode and then they're going to go right back to the bullshit that nobody cares about. And then on the last episode of the season, they're going to give it some more fun stuff and then nothing at all. And they keep hinting at grunts and like they show a brute now apparently, and they keep hinting at the other Covenant things, but like it's just lost its sauce, man. It's just, I wish they would pull it and just start over at this point.
Lost its sauce.
It's lost its sauce.
It was never in the kitchen to begin with. Yeah, it was never in the fucking pot.
But what my point is that like they are not leading up to anything good. This is going to be like, what are they leading up to? The fall of Reach probably, and like maybe the start of the first Halo story, but I don't see that happening. And if it does, like, good, like maybe people will pick it up in the second season because the second season is the Halo story and maybe they'll learn from their mistakes. But so far, I'm like, you guys are not going anywhere that I can follow.
Yeah. I mean, it just keeps coming back to, for me, like, who the hell is this marketed for? Like, I don't get it. Fans are clearly upset. Like, fans were clearly upset from the get-go. And then, were they trying to get people who didn't know about Halo? Like, oh, my son plays these Halo games. Maybe I should give this a watch. It's like, no, it's too... The show is very... I don't want to say juvenile, but it's like...
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely.
A teenager show.
Yeah, it feels like a cheap Saturday morning version of Halo with a game with, like, a lot of violence and gore.
Yeah, like, there's nothing... Like, there's no nuance to it or anything like that. So it's just like... All right, most teenagers usually know or play Halo, so, once again, you're not marketing to the gamers because clearly you're not marketing anything they would want to see or watch. It's just like Paramount's just basically throwing money in a fucking hole because they never figured out who they were marketing this to begin with.
Yeah, it's just a sad attempt. Like, it makes me sad. I really wish I could go back in time and shake some sense into Steven Spielberg or whoever the fuck is the executive producer and be like, no.
Did you call him Steven Spielberg?
No, I just said Steven Spielberg.
I don't know why my brain
Mr. Andrew McGarfield.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying, like,
Mr. Andrew McGarfield.
I need to fix that. But,
no, yeah, I literally just said Steven Spielberg though. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Now I'm really interested in what like Neil Blomkamp would have done, or even Peter Jackson back when that was in the talks. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's and I'm curious what the Halo movie would have been had the guy who was doing District 9.
Yeah, that's Neil Blomkamp. That's right.
Although a lot of his movies, speaking of going downhill, a lot of his movies went downhill.
Yeah, pretty much Chappie was like, what? And then, I don't know. I never saw anything else after that. Nothing else that he directed.
I watched a review of one of his movies. It was like, it was a demon possession movie, and it looked really bad because the premise of it was a woman's mother was in a coma she was also possessed by a demon. So the woman had to like go into her mother's brain, like through a VR thing essentially. But the special effects of her being in the other world. Have you ever seen like when they're tracking like a actor or something for a video game or for special effects, and it does a base stimulation like on the spot?
Yeah.
It looks like that. It looks like absolute shit. Like,
wow.
It's not even like low animation. It's like they probably just like captured the movement and then just translated that into the film, and it looked embarrassing. And it's like, damn, dude, that sucks. Granted, he did do it during COVID, so grant that whatever leeway you want to in your head, but it was just like that sucks situation.
Yeah.
And I hope they never make a sequel to District 9. I know they've talked about it, but I'm like, I hope they don't do it.
No, I don't think they will. I mean, unless the movie went to like really, really big cult status, I don't think they would.
I think the movie has a decent cult status. I think enough people would be interested to see a sequel, but at the same time, it's like, I like the ambiguity. I like the open-endedness of it. It's a little bit of hope, but also a little bit of dismay. Like, it's perfect. It's just a good soup of obscurity for me.
So did you hear, speaking about soups of obscurity and disappointments and shit and bad movie stuff, did you hear about Bill Murray getting kicked off the set of this movie called Being Mortal?
No, I did not hear about this.
So let me read you this quote here. Basically, there was a complaint filed against 71-year-old actor Bill Murray after alleging inappropriate behavior towards a co-star. And it goes on to say that the studio sent a letter to the cast and crew, which includes Seth Rogen, Keke Palmer, and Bill Murray. By the way, this is Aziz Ansari's directorial debut, or at least it was. I'll get to that. And the letter states, late last week, we were made aware of a complaint and immediately looked into it. After reviewing the circumstances, it has been decided that the production can no longer continue at this time. We are truly grateful for all of you for everything you've put in this work, into this project. Our hope is to resume production, and we are with Aziz and everybody to figure out that timing. But apparently, it's scrapped, and now it won't come out till next year, and they're probably going to get rid of Bill Murray. So, damn.
That
being
fucking
71,
sucks.
he needs to chill out. It reminds me of like what's going on with what's his name? Chevy
Chase. Yeah.
It's the same thing. I'm like, dude, you guys are too old for this shit. Like, I don't know what he did, and it was probably something gross towards, let's be honest, a female co-star. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but the way it's worded and the way they're dancing around things, he could be a creepy old fuck. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. That's how Chevy Chase turned out, so
Chevy Chase is just a straight up asshole. Like,
right.
Like I've listened to like podcasts with the main guy from Community. I forgot his name, but he just like gives actual stories of Chevy Chase. Of, like, the man didn't want to be on set for more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever like that. And Bill Murray also seems the type that is like that as well. Although I guess maybe he's not. like he's still a dick, but I don't think he acts like a dick when he does it. I think he just like leaves or like Irish goodbyes essentially. But yeah, the Bill Murray's always kind of been not the right guy to idolize with things. He's kind of been a dick in a lot of movies, even like all the way back to Ghostbusters and stuff like that. It's just
I've always gotten a vibe from him that was like he doesn't care and he's a little bit aloof and just kind of a dick.
I like his performances and things, but like I wouldn't fucking trust or idolize the man. Like
Me neither.
He's a sketchy kind of guy, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much like his character.
I feel bad, especially for like Aziz Ansari and like anybody involved with production, because it's just highly unprofessional and it ruins it for everybody else, you know?
Yeah, I can only imagine how fucking frustrating that'd be.
It's like it's Bill Murray. You think he'd have some fucking class, you know?
Nope. I'm sure he's one of those guys that like for like, you know, his Wes Anderson movies, which he is usually a regular there. Like I'm sure for that he's like, oh, I respect this person, but yeah, he doesn't seem like the guy who respects a lot of people, honestly. So it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hey, I've been clouding the whole fucking podcast with my topics. What do you got for me?
I talked about Horizon.
Is that all you had?
No. I mentioned this to you yesterday, but this is just kind of reiterate the movie Last Night in Soho. I told you about this weekend.
Yeah, we talked about it like this last weekend, but yeah.
Yeah, overall, I was pretty disappointed, or not disappointed. It was just a letdown. I thought on a technical level, very well shot, very well acted, but it was missing just something to it, and it kept dancing around a mystery that I figured out like as soon as all the pieces were in front of me. I figured out the twist like incredibly early, and that's not like if you don't see the twist, that's great. If you do see the twist, whatever. Like it's not one of those, like, I'm not trying to brag about it. I'm just saying like I saw the twist in my head. I'm like, oh, it makes sense for this. And then the movie just kind of kept dancing around. It's like, oh, you don't know the twist. You don't know it. And it's like, I do know it. Get to it. Like, let this be over kind of situation.
Right.
Which, you know, this ties in with the whole thing of like, I don't care if someone spoils the movie for me. It felt like I was watching this movie for the second time, like knowing every beat that happens. But the second viewing was just not good. Because, you know, some movies that have a twist, like a twist can save a movie, but the second time you watch, you're like, man, this is a lot of nothing. Like,
yeah.
And that was kind of what the movie felt like. It felt like I was watching a movie that was a lot of nothing on my second viewing after I've already known the twist.
So somewhat of like, would you say it's like somewhat of a downgrade to the usual Edgar Wright movie?
Yeah, I would say Edgar Wright is a little bit more style over substance. I think the substance in the Cornetto trilogy came from Simon Pegg helping to co-write, because Simon Pegg, I think, is a smart writer. Where Edgar Wright is I think his talent is more editing, cinematography. And I think he can write. I think he does a good job, but at the end of the day, I think what he captures on film, or like what he sees in his eye, is more impressive than his writing.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's Zack Snyder's level. I think there's certainly more substance there than it is for Zack Snyder, where I think is purely style over substance. But
truly, yeah.
But it's just kind of one of those things. I thought Baby Driver was good, but Baby Driver, when you think about it, is also like, you know, the music, editing, that's more standout point than whatever dialogue was going on.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, are you excited for the Lightyear movie? Whoa, no. Your mic like jumped like a million years. You're like, yeah. It sounded like you like fell off a cliff. Was that a yes or a no?
It was a no.
Oh, okay.
I'm not excited at all for it. I could not care less.
I'm gonna go see it. Fuck it. It looks cool. I like how they're like doing the stories that Buzz always told, and now it's for real. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that aspect in
Taika Waititi's the robot cat.
No, I was gonna make an allegory to like Star Wars, where it's like, I love when, you know, Han Solo makes a comment about the Kessel Run and they make a whole movie off of that. It's like, cool.
Whoops, they did that.
This is definitely not the same situation, like, at all. I think I mean, I like the Buzz Lightyear show that was on Disney when I was a kid, the cartoon one, and that had, you know, that was its own thing as well. So I'm like, I'm sure a little kid would appreciate this new Buzz Lightyear movie, but Pixar movies haven't been doing it for me. I think at the end of the day, like all the Pixar movies, although the animation is very incredible, they all look the same, and they all kind of have like similar beats to them that I'm just not really getting anything out of them anymore. And also, I may just be an adult that doesn't have a connection to my childlike wonderment.
Yeah. I watched Turning Red with Rose and Kenny, and I was like, not for me.
The movie about getting your period.
Kinda.
I mean, that's basically what it was. Yeah.
Kinda. But I would say I'm definitely more excited for Buzz Lightyear. Like, it looks like it's more Pixar to me.
Red, absolutely. I had no interest in because it was like modern lingo and like modern kids. Like it was a Zoomer
funnily
movie.
enough, that movie's supposed to be placed in 2002.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it is, but it's just like when I watched the trailer, I was like, I'm gonna get so annoyed by this kid. Like I'm already annoyed like in the trailer. I'm just like, I can't watch this movie. And it took me a while before I even saw Soul. I haven't really had any need to watch Encanto or anything like that.
Encanto's not Pixar.
I thought it was. Oh, it's just Disney. It's just Disney, but not Pixar.
I saw Encanto. I liked Encanto more than I liked Turning Red.
I like Coco. Coco was good, but
Coco's good.
At the same time, it's just, you know, I would really appreciate them doing something more crazy with their animation. I don't even know what that one is, but yeah, I would appreciate them doing something a little bit different with their art style because it's all the same Pixar, like curved edges and stuff like that. Like
I don't know. Have you seen the Buzz Lightyear design? And like
I have. It
looks interesting.
It's like Soul, where it's so close to like realism, but still has like a cartoony look to it. But I'm just saying, like, do something not like Into the Spider-Verse, but I'm saying do something crazy with your animation. Like really get creative with it. I would like to see like an explosion of like animation and colors, like with Pixar's, you know, muscle that they have.
Yeah.
Just you know, change it up a little bit. But honestly, at the end of the day, these movies aren't really made for me anymore. So it's just whatever.
Well, I am excited to see Lightyear, and it is past the middle of the episode, but I'm going to go ahead and just say right now, middle plug for our website. If you guys want to follow us and listen to us on anything other than Twitch, which is the live stream right now, you're probably listening to a recording of the live stream. You can go to www.theemptyglasspodcast.com. That's where you'll find us on all of our different podcast sites, or you can go to twitch.com/theemptyglasspodcast, or just search for The Empty Glass Podcast on Twitch, and that's how you'll catch us on our live streams, which are, for right now, mostly on Thursdays, around the late afternoon. How was that?
That was pretty good. I would rate that a 9.75 out of 10.
Ah, wow, thanks. You mentioned Into the Spider-Verse. Did you hear how that's actually getting delayed until next year now?
Yeah, 2023. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, me too. Take their time. Take your time on the story. Take your time on the execution. The first Spider-Verse movie was a chef's kiss, which is crazy because when I first saw the trailer for Into the Spider-Verse, I was like, the fuck is this shit? Who's gonna care about this fucking movie? Like a Spider-Man with a pig in there? Like Peter Porker? You're kidding me.
Well, the first trailer didn't even really show Peter Porker. It showed the scene where he jumps off the glass. And so like when I heard about Into the Spider-Verse, I was like, man, whatever. But then I saw the scene where he jumps off the glass and it breaks. I'm like, this looks really fucking incredible. And then, and then I saw, like, I actually avoided a lot of the other trailers, not purposely. It just, I didn't watch them. And then by the time the movie came out, thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I've seen that movie probably the most out of any other movie just because it's just an easy watch. It's not too long. You can have it on the background. Like, it's just good.
Also, Natalie Portman is now Thor. Or as my notes say, Natalie Nortman is now Thor.
Why are you saying it like a fucking, like we're on the Joe Rogan podcast? Oh, now they got a woman as Thor.
It's not a problem. I'm just saying.
It's not a problem. Yeah, I watched the trailer because like I knew they already talked about this happening. They already announced.
Yeah, I was going to say like this has been being set up since like the first movie, right?
Not the first movie, but it's just it since Endgame, like they were talking about phases, they already said like Natalie Portman's going to be taking up Thor because she does that in the comics. And it looks like they're going I don't know a lot about the Thor comics, and I can't say anything with certainty, but it looks like they're doing the thing where Thor is taking over kind of the powers of Odin, where he's become more godlike, and so now Natalie Portman will be picking up Thor's power. So she's basically where Thor was, while Thor has gone to like Anthony Hopkins level of godlike.
Right. Taika Waititi's coming back to direct it, so I'm definitely hyped for that.
Like I said, burn out Marvel movies, including Thor. I was shocked that like when I watched as much as I love Thor Ragnarok, when I watched the new Thor trailer, I felt the same level of like kind of nothingness for it. And so I'm really not hyped about it, but because it's by Taika Waititi, I will still check it out.
You know how a few podcast episodes ago I was talking about how I wish there was a place where people could just submit their short films and, like they could be watched and shit. It turns out there is a place, and it's called shortoftheweek.com.
Ooh.
And other movies
this
that have ended up
sponsored?
No, not at all. That would have gone earlier anyways if it was. But I was just saying, like, I was looking on purpose for like a place where just people post short films, whether they're 10 minutes long, 5 minutes long, an hour long, 30 minutes long, whatever the fuck. And there's a website that exists. It's called shortoftheweek.com. And like, I haven't watched any of the shorts on there, so I can't talk to their substance, but it looks like it's by random people, and literally they put one up every week and you can like submit your own short films and stuff. And I'm like, that's super fucking exciting. That's cool. At least there's still a place to go. And certain movies that have ended up in the theaters or picked up by, I guess bigger distributors have come from this website. So one of those being the short film version of Everything Happening Everywhere at Once. The short film version of it went to shortoftheweek.com first. That's where it got noticed. That's how it got picked up by A41, and that's how it
A24.
A24, and that's how it is where it is now.
Damn, that's cool. That's very interesting. Speaking of Everything Everywhere All at Once, I watched it. I fucking loved it. It's fantastic. Great movie.
I'll have to check it out. I've been wanting to see it. I don't know. Is it going to come to streaming services soon, or is it just like strictly a theater movie?
I don't know.
I just thought maybe you'd have some sort of insight.
No, like I don't know. The whole thing of, like we talked about last week, like the COVID thing has significantly shortened the amount of time, and I think a lot of production companies get the idea that if movies don't do well in movies, there's still a window that they can make money by quickly putting it to streaming services, because sometimes there will be a hype, but it's just inconvenient for people to get out, or people are still concerned about COVID, whatever the reason is. I think there's an understanding now that if they capitalize by moving quickly to availability at home, but still a higher price, they can make a little bit more money. So, I mean, the whole idea of waiting 6 months between a movie in theater to movie to streaming or DVD is out of date, and I'm glad they're kind of picking up on that.
Agreed. I just like Batman on HBO. I hope that Everything Happening Everywhere at Once comes to streaming soon.
Well, the only difference is that one is Batman, one is another movie. So if like with Batman, it's easy for them to ride the hype train because they already made their money back in theaters very easily. Whereas Everything All at Once, I don't know I'm curious to see how that'll work out. I hope it does well. And from what I've seen, it has been doing fairly decent. I hope it makes all of its money back and more.
I think it will, and hopefully it does go to streaming soon, because it is still like an independent film. I remember The Disaster Artist went to streaming pretty quick. So that's just my hope. The only reason why is that I am totally down to see it in the theater, but I mean, it's just so much more comfortable to do it at home.
No, I get it. And if I had it my way, I would never go to a movie theater again, because I hate people talking. I hate people eating while watching a movie. I just want to focus on the movie.
Even like
really.
when you go to the draft house, like the server comes up to you at like seemingly the worst points in the movie to like come up to you to give you your check or ask you if you need anything else. And it's like, while the most intense part of the movie is happening, it's like, dude.
There's a line between, I totally agree with you. There's a line between having just an overall experience, which if you're going to go see a popcorn movie, then the server is not a bad idea or whatever like that. There's a difference between that and then just wanting to watch a movie. Because when I want to watch a movie, that's all I want to do. I don't typically like to eat when I watch a movie or anything. Or not that I avoid it. It's just like that. The movie's my main focus, and I don't want anything interrupting it. That's why I've been going to places like, Santikos more often than not, because it's if I am hungry or want to drink whatever, I get that before the movie and then bring it into the theater, and then no one bothers me.
Yeah, and the Santikos Theater isn't bad at all, especially the one close by to us. Like, they remodeled that theater, and it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, you still get people that like talk through it because it's because it's not Draft House. It's the quote unquote ghetto theater in their heads. You still get people chatty, whatever. But when I went to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once, I saw it by myself at the Santikos Theater, and I was worried because people were talking like during the trailers and stuff, but eventually everyone chilled out. But the movie is, God, it's really good. Like, it's really goofy. It's funny, but it's also very sincere. It also has a good action to it, good drama. Like, it's overall, I think, is a very quality movie, and it's very original. There's not many movies like it. I don't want to spoil anything because this is one of those movies that the less you know about it, the better. But what's something I really appreciate is it has these jokes that are almost, the best way I compare it is like Family Guy, where they do a offhanded joke. Is like, this reminds me of that time I hung out with Bob Saget at, the third planet of Endor or whatever. And it just cuts to like a random ass scene. It's like some of the comedy in this movie works like that, but then those comedic, like out of nowhere bits still come back in a meaningful, sincere way later on. Like it's not just a throwaway thing. Like it sticks with it's goofy as fuck, but it sticks with it and then it has its own sincerity to it. I'm like, that's so impressive to blend comedy and sincerity and like drama into a nice little bow. It's just very well done. I really appreciate it. It's probably the best movie I've seen this year.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Yes, I would be very curious to know what you think of it, because I think it's an artsy fartsy film a little bit, because it's A24, it's tackling some weird conceptual ideas, but at the same time it's so fucking weird and stupid in some scenes in like the best way possible that I think even a general audience, I can't imagine anyone getting bored by this movie.
That sounds exciting. I mean, like, Spider-Man kept my attention because it wasn't boring, and I feel like I need another movie like that.
Yeah, and like Swiss Army Man, I can see how people would it's a weird ass concept, but I could see how it's chill enough that people can kind of like lose interest. This movie is so balls to the wall at some point. I can't see anyone being like, okay, I'm going to go get popcorn while this fight scene's happening. Because there's just one fight scene absolutely fucking insane. Not like choreograph wise, although the choreography is very good. I just mean like conceptually wise, it's just fucking bad shit.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, I am out of topics. That's it for me. What do you got for me, Mr. Motherfucker?
Well, that is what my parents call me. They call me Mr. Motherfucker.
Mr. Motherfucker.
Yeah, they call me the motherfucker. What's that from?
I just speed read through my fucking topics. I like look at them and I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna.
You got too excited.
I get too excited. It's okay.
You have been killing it with having topics the past few times. You're like, man, I'm doing such a good job, and you got too excited and read through all of your topics that quickly. But it's okay.
But we're almost to the hour, so I mean, we're close.
Hey, listen, bud, I'm proud of you no matter what the people on Instagram say.
Thank you, man.
Thanks. I was gonna mention the new Saints Row game. I don't know if I said this on the podcast or if I said it directly to you, or even if I said it to you. But I certainly said it to somebody at some point. I was not excited at all about them remaking Saints Row. I was not happy about it, but mainly because I like the goofy ass storyline. Even with how insane it got, I still really liked the storyline of the OG Saints Row, and I was kind of annoyed that they were tossing it out the window and starting fresh. But with that being said, the past weekend, they showed off some gameplay and they showed off some customization for the new game. And I'm not going to lie, it's kind of selling me a little bit. it gives me, it's really goofy in the sense that, like, you know, Saints Row 3 had the dildo bats and everything like that. So this one has absurdity to it, but it also has vibes of Saints Row 2, which is my favorite Saints Row game.
Yeah, same. Saints Row 2 was the best.
I can't quantify how it's giving me those vibes or anything like that, but because this was all just customization trailer or whatever like that, they're showing how much you customize your character. It looks like they have a feature where you can literally pull up your phone and customize your character on the spot, which I think a lot of video games should have, because it's just like, hey, me and the bro are playing multiplayer online. Let's both be matching outfits for this stupid mission. Like, it's just, it makes sense. It's a dumb feature to have. It's dumb in the sense that, like, why is this taking this long? Like, why in video games do you have to go to a closet in your room to change if you and your buddy want to role play stupid shit?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any of the gameplay of it. I did see, like, the announcement trailer when they announced the new Saints Row remake, but Saints Row 2 was such a vibe, such a great game, perfect balance of, like, the silliness and some realism. So if that's what they're bringing back to the table, where it's not just like running around slapping people with dildos, because Saints Row 3 was fun, but it's just such a...
It set it down a bad path.
It's like, it was like contrived. The game was just contrived. It felt like, oh yeah, like wink, wink, wink every 2 seconds, you know?
Yeah.
Saints Row 2 was a little more subtle about that.
Saints Row 2 was funnier, and I agree how subtle it was with its comedy, but then still had beats in which you could take things seriously. Like when you do I think it was the Brotherhood missions, and like your friend with the sock hat dies. Like, that was actually a fucking sad scene. Or like when Johnny Gat's Aisha, his wife, died. That was also sad. It was like, oh my God. And it actually makes stakes when you get revenge on the gang that fucked with your team. Like, it was good. It was a really good game. Also had the best soundtrack of all time with Gen X. That radio station popped. But yeah, the new game was showing off customization for not only your character, but also like customizing vehicles. Like the vehicle customization looks fucking balls to the wall. Like, you could really do some crazy stuff. And I'm like, that's cool. And that's mainly, I'm probably most excited for that, for the fact that there hasn't really been a absurd vehicle customization game in a while for me. So that is honestly a selling point for me. That's a selling point that I want to take part in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Saints Row is now no longer on my shit list for now.
Wow.
It's on a possibility I may possibly enjoy it thing. All I can say though is that they better have a Australian voice actor, because that's been my go-to since Saints Row 2.
Well, there you go. I never played Saints Row 4 or Saints Row 4 Bat Out of Hell or whatever.
Gat out of hell. I actually I didn't mind Saints Row 4. I thought its level design was very lazy, because it's basically Saints Row 3 with a skin over it, because it was, you know, essentially DLC before it became its own thing. But I did appreciate how goofy it was. Like, I appreciate that it just went absolutely insane with its goofiness. There's an entire level that's basically going through They Live, the movie, to rescue Keith David. And you have Rodney Piper, the lead from They Live, like trying to assist you as well. And it's just like, all right, I like this shit. I like how fucking weird and goofy it is. Like, the missions in the game were very fun and entertaining, but the overall world was very lame, because it's just dark all the time. Like, it was always dark out. It was the Saints Row 3 level. And you have the powers and abilities, which also make driving very nullified very early on. But the powers are also kind of fun. It's weird. I'm very on the fence about it, but at the end of the day, I think I like it more than I hate it.
Well, damn. Yeah, I might. I don't know. I don't think I'll play it. I probably won't.
I love that. Like, maybe I'll. No.
Nope. I already made up my mind. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to try to focus on playing other games that I have right now. Like one of those being Force Unleashed on my PC, just because it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's an easy game to get through, you know?
Yeah.
Rose and I are still playing Halo 2. We got to beat Halo 2, move on to Halo 3. I still like playing these custom levels in Left 4 Dead. Like, you'll just never run out of them. There's so many.
Yeah, there definitely is. And for myself, I can't decide if I want to play more of Lego Star Wars or if I want to play if I want to finish Ghostwire Tokyo. Because Ghostwire Tokyo, it's a vibe. Honestly, when you play it, just something about it I just really synchronize with, and I appreciate it. The combat's dull. Okay, not dull. The combat is okay, but just the environment. I really appreciate the environment, and I like when games have certain parameters. Like you can't just fly around the city and the rooftops all you want. You have to specifically find little things to grapple onto in order to get to the roof. And I don't know, just something about it I just really enjoy.
I would say play some more of the Tokyo Ghostwire.
I'm more likely to beat that first because Star Wars is insanely massive.
It's a big game.
It's a big game for big men, you know?
Yep. I haven't yet to pick that game up. Right now, I'm just playing Halo 2. Rose and I have been playing Beat Saber every once in a while, and I also still play Assassin's Creed 2 on my Switch.
Nice.
Oh, and then I picked up The Force Unleashed on PC for like $2.
Any game this decade you want to play?
Nope. I actually downloaded the first Harry Potter video game from 2000 onto my computer, so that's probably higher up on the list than anything from 2022 for me.
I was talking to my friend,
bro.
Yeah, fucking boomer over here. I was talking to my friend from work about we were talking about Dragon Ball Z because we both used to watch it a lot, and he's like, man, I used to love playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 specifically, and I'm like, that's the one game I have on PS2. He's like, bro, he told me, he's like, you got to play it and unlock shit so that we can play together. I'd be down. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, some Dragon Ball Z Budokai and chill.
Exactly. Like, some of these old games have a charm that's undeniable. Another game that Rose and I have been playing, but we haven't picked up in a while since we got the new TV downstairs. I need to get like an AV to HDMI adapter, I guess, so we can play PS2. But we were playing Gauntlet Dark Legacy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just such a classic, you know? Like, sometimes the old games are a vibe. You just put it in the console, you turn the fucker on, and it plays. You don't have to wait 30 fucking minutes or multiple hours for an update because you haven't touched the game in a week, you know?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of old games, I sent you a text about this, but I don't know if you saw it, but there was a Resident Evil VR trailer breakdown.
Yeah, I figured that we would talk about that on the podcast. For Resident Evil 4 VR.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool.
Are you going to get it?
Maybe. You know,
if it's like runnable on whatever you have.
Oh, I'm sure it is runnable on what I have. But I don't know if I'll get it. It just depends on the price for me, really. And I've played Resident Evil 4 to death, so I don't know.
That was my main thing I was curious about. Is like, even with this new gimmick, like, I know you play Resident Evil 4 a lot, so that was more what I was curious about. Is like, have you played it too many times?
I don't know. Maybe, because I own it on the Switch, I own it on the PS4, I played it on the Xbox 360, and I own it on PC. So, but I've only maybe beaten it once or twice, so possibly. But I almost feel like I would rather just play it on my Switch in the third-person perspective the way the game was supposed to be played.
Yeah, if you want to do VR, just get a PlayStation 4 VR and play Resident Evil 6.
7.
Where it's scary.
7.
No, 6. Okay, you're right. It's 7.
I have 7 on my PC and it's already VR compatible, but I don't know.
When did they do that? Because I thought they did not, for some reason, add a VR capability for the PC version.
I don't know.
They didn't do it at launch, and I'm fairly certain I don't recall ever hearing that they moved it.
I bought Resident Evil 7 on the PC on a sale, like maybe a summer ago or two on a Steam sale. So, and I think mine just came with the VR version as well.
No, I looked it up and it looks like it's only a mod that allows you to do it on PC.
Oh, well, then that's what I have or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, no, not that. Like, it's the thing that baffles me. It's like, why is it so exclusive? Like, why wouldn't they advertise it to PC? I don't know. It's a really baffling thing. I don't understand why it was so exclusive to just the PlayStation VR.
Yeah, I would personally buy an Oculus Go 2 before I would get a PSVR because I just don't have that many PlayStation games to facilitate that.
I mean, I kind of want to get the PSVR 2 because that has a lot of potentiality to be really cool. So I may get that down the road if it ever goes on sale.
I think I'd take my chances with an Oculus Go 2 or 3. It just does suck that I have to be part of the fucking quote-unquote metaverse in order to use them.
Ugh.
But we've been over that. Anyways, we're just at about time. What do you think?
I think it's time for everyone to pull those cookies out of the oven because they're going to get burnt if you don't pull them out now. Let them cool off for a little bit. You know, don't be greedy, don't be grubby, and put the hot cookies in your mouth because you'll get burned. Just let them cool off for a little bit on top of the stove. Pour yourself some milk in a nice tall glass. If you have a partner or someone else with you in the room, pour one for them as well. Unless they're lactose intolerant, then in that case, you should probably pour them some almond milk. If you don't have any almond milk, go down to your local grocery store, get yourself some almond milk, and then enjoy those cookies.
Wow, well said.
Yeah.
All right,
wait, Stephen, you did pull the cookies out of the oven, right?
I know, they're burning.
Oh, fuck.
I'm on fire.
All right, in the episode, we're done. I gotta go get the cookies out of the oven.
All right, thanks for listening to the Empty Glass Podcast. Remember, you guys can go to www.theemptyglasspodcast.com, and that's where you can find us on all of our other podcasts.
Fuck the bird.
Matt loves his cookies. He's fucked. Hey.
Ah, shit.
Hey, can you like scrape off the burned stuff, or is it like way not?
You know what? I need you to come over here and help me out.
Okay, I'm gonna go help out, guys.
Get a spatula.
Okay, I'm gonna get it. Okay, I'll grab a spatula.
Get the fire extinguisher.
Okay, I'll be right there. Okay, fuck.